All right, last time I mentioned that I've just been kind of in a funk emotionally the last few days, and when that happens, and it just kind of sticks with me for a few days at a time. If it's just a day or so, I don't really think about it, but if it's lingering for a while, kind of this low mood, I want to kind of check in with myself and try to be aware of that and also find ways to kind of navigate through that more effectively. So that's what happened recently, and really in this area of friendship. Last time I also helped you identify maybe a few areas in your own life that might help you boost your mental health and well-being. And I mentioned relationships is one area that you can kind of look at to improve your well-being, transcendence or a sense of spirituality, purpose and meaning, and then also story or telling your authentic story. Those are four pillars of meaning and also of mental health and well-being. So in this series, I'm going to be talking about each of those. So this video is more about where I've been in my relationships and what is often referred to as a dominant story that we often tell ourselves, which is sometimes a negative story. So in this case, in what's gotten me in this funk recently is kind of this story I tell myself, or this thing I rehearse in my mind, that when something goes awry, I often tell myself that I'm usually the one kind of taking the initiative or reaching out to people, and that starts me kind of going down this road or in this kind of this vicious cycle where I just can't seem to pull myself out. My mind just seems to linger on that thought that I have to take initiative in all my friendships and all my relationships, and I never get anything back. That's kind of like the negative, irrational thing I tell myself. The dominant story idea is that you take that, but then also look for evidence when that's not true. So in my case, I started to just list times when friends were reaching out to me recently, and I came up with, a dozen or more examples. I had a friend text me out of the blue, and then another friend called me out of the blue, and somebody I haven't heard from in like 40 years or 30 years emailed me, and then I've had some great connections with people. I did the storytelling event, and I invited a bunch of friends to come, and I had a good representation of friends that showed up and just supported me. So there's lots of evidence against this dominant story that I often tell myself, so that I'm the only one kind of reaching out or investing in other people. That's just not true. It's not true in my situation, but for some reason my storyline, my brain kind of goes to these situations that don't go as well as I would like, and I forget about the good things that are happening. So that's kind of the exercise for you this week, and something I've done for myself recently is to reframe and remind myself of these situations where the dominant story, negative story, isn't true. So I want you to try that this week sometime, and if you find yourself believing something that kind of brings you down, take initiative and write down actual examples of when that's not true, so you can challenge yourself in your thinking in that way and see if that works. Sometimes that's enough for me to just kind of get myself out of this funk, or begin to. Sometimes I need to go a little deeper into why I believe what I believe, or why that dominant story is there, which we'll get into next time in the next episode of this series around relationships. It has to do with cognitive behavioral therapy or rational emotive behavior therapy, and tools you can use to get deeper into kind of what's behind some of these beliefs that you're believing that get in the way of you feeling better and acting in accordance with what you want to do in a healthier way. So try this tool this week. Identify dominant story that you tell yourself that gets in the way, and then also challenge that in writing down things that are examples of when that dominant story is not true, to combat and argue against that in your mind. Just remember too, you can check out my website, the links below this video, for more information on kind of worksheets that you can use along with some of these exercises I'm providing you. I also have a product that helps you create kind of a bigger project, a happiness project, to help with your mental health and well-being. So check that out on my website as well. I'll provide a link below, and have a great week. And I'll check in with you next time.